Welcome to the evening. Of course, we are going on with the reaction in the we are going on with the reaction, or rather a political analysis, guys, with lots of things loading. Sakaja during one of the meetings has actually proved that some of the leaders in Nairobi have been pushing him on payment of some companies, which means possibly they own some companies, and that is why they keep pushing. And stop wasting your time here. So guys, I just saw that discussion and I was in shock because I was I was amazed at the same time in shock, because why would someone push the governor to pay a company very fast? We know these things. If someone does not have a conflict of interest, there is no way you will prioritize some organizations to be paid, and you wouldn't even ask or push that they are paid. So after Sakaja has been pushed to the wall, he has had to come out and say that in one of the meetings, and I hope you saw during the meeting, which was so hot, with Onyonka and the rest of them sitting. All right. And I was just trying to ask myself, is Sifuna also involved? They always say that when you live in glass houses, don't throw stones, okay? So let me just check on something here. Because I was actually watching that earlier on. And during the day, I felt like, oh, there's a lot of shenanigans in politics, actually. Like, DPP has moved to drop Opado graft case amidst ongoing plea deal talks. And I'm like, what is that? Akash bro, welcome. There is the other one, hey, Emoji Queen. Emoji Queen, hi. Thank you so much for coming, Handy. Nadu Baswan, welcome. Kindly, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel also. All right. Thank you, Emoji Queen. I really appreciate your presence here. And I appreciate everything, your support, your love. Saravan Kumar. Hi, how are you? I am from Kenya here. And I really appreciate your presence, everyone. Nadu Paswan says, how to village. Okay. Hey, emoji is dropping. I don't know which language. Is it a language of flowers? I don't know, but I appreciate. Guys. I really appreciate your presence here. From India, thank you so much. Nadu Paswan, are you also from India? Emoji Queen. You are a queen of emoji indeed. You are dropping emojis one after the other. All right. So welcome. Akash bro, hi. You are number 2 fan and I really appreciate your presence, guys. Let's go into it. All right. Yeah, I saw a lot of emojis and I'm like, what does that mean? But I really appreciate, okay? Yeah. Emoji Queen is saying no. What is it? You're saying no. Why are you saying no? All right. So we can proceed to our analysis and let's just check on this. There was a discussion that was happening and this was it. And when Sakaja realized that things are too much, oh, from America, Lower. Thank you so much for watching me from Lower. How is Lower and how is America? Emoji Queen, how is America and Lower? And Trump waiting for our president to come there after he did what he did. I don't know how it will go by. I'll be watching. Okay. So actually the corruption cases in Kenya are just too much, and I'm like, so some of us suffer a lot to acquire money, but there are people who are just squandering money here and there, siphoning funds from the public kitties, making deals, and it has become so easy for these leaders to just collaborate, make sure that whatever they are supplying to the county is from their organizations, they pay themselves, and all that is happening under our nose. So today Sakaja actually threw Edin Sifuna under the bus. Okay, Emoji Queen says good, and I'm so appreciative that everything is good for you in law, and you are doing well. I appreciate your presence, all right? Okay, so let's go to it. There was this session involving Senator Onyonga and the rest, and of course when they come they were oversighting the governor of Nairobi, all right? And during the session they really were asking tough questions. At some point they were cross-speaking. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate emoji. I really appreciate. Your subscription means a while to me because I'm targeting to have at least 1,000 subscribers, and I know you can take me there. I know you can take me there by subscribing and telling a friend of a friend to subscribe and sharing my videos, and also looking through the rest of the videos I've been doing every day, because it is what it is. We are hustling in Kenya, and we don't want to beg. All we want is to do something, and out of it we earn something else, maybe to survive, because life is tough here. But then through what we do, maybe through our speech, through our research, through our work, academic writing and all that, we really hope that we will survive instead of actually begging or cursing or thinking of death. In situation where life is tough, some people think of dying, others think of stealing, others think of begging. But instead of that, we come to YouTube and do content, and then we hope that things will be better, because if our government has decided to turn against us and throw us under the bus, we will not accept to be crushed. Instead, we will be walking away and doing things like this. Analysis, political analysis is a very important tool, because once citizens are informed, and even the external, they understand the situation on the ground. I've done a study on Sudanese situation, and I really understand how politics directly affects the lives of the people. And when some people tell me that politics is a headache and we should stop talking about it, I say no. Let me talk about it so that I understand what happens day after day, guys, and also make somebody understand. All right, so let's go to it. And thank you so much for wishing us good luck and also supporting us by watching. Once you watch at least 30 minutes, like if somebody watches me for 30 minutes, they have really done a lot to me, because live streams actually bank on watch hours, and that is what we go for. All right, so today, as I was watching Sakaja in an interview with the rest of the senators who are oversighting, there is some information that he gave that was so funny. Thank you, emoji grading queen. All right, so let's listen to this discussion that was happening, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Commercial break. I don't like this. Anyway.
They have used their money to where they are, and they need to get paid to avoid the issue of the pending bills, and also to make the city clean, as you've all their slogan. Let's make Nairobi work. Should give full disclosure to the community. No, I'm just asking as far as the pending bills are concerned. Give full disclosure of conflict. Are you accusing the senator of conflict? No. We want to hear. No. Chairman, you cannot do that. Chairman, you are not chairman. You cannot pass. Let the truth come out. We, the senator, in the week of truth. The week in the governor of Nairobi is letting speak. Because, Honorable Chair, just 1 minute, Honorable Alwan. Can I just say one thing, Chair? No, one thing. Just 1 minute. 1 minute, Onyonka. 1 minute, Onyonka. I will speak to the committee. Want an orderly way of fixing. That's why I've asked my colleagues to allow me.
So guys, you realize that there was a lot of cross discussion, cross conversation during this moment. You know, after one person had asked about the payments, the rest of the senators began speaking, all of them at one time, you know. Hey, boy Regazi, Siete Imiglory. Hey, is this Germany or what is that? Okay.
We will not allow you, Chairman, to get away with this. We will not allow it. Now, Senator Edwin, what I'm trying to rule on is order in terms of engagement that are currently carrying out. I don't mention any name, but it's a good opportunity because I've had people saying I'm also a garbage collector. That I have pending bills in Nairobi that they are being paid through the back door. I want this thing to be clear. If there are members of this committee
oh, Voira guess Siete Imiglory means hi. Thank you for your other greeting.
This week is very different from what the other week, Chairman, and we must bring this matter to a close. In the short time, what are you doing to make sure that the city is kept clean? Include that, because I just went.
Now, the reality is that Nairobi City actually used to be a bit of very clean during at the time of Mike Sonko. To say the truth, let us give dues where they deserve to be. Mike Sonko tried a lot and Nairobi began to be a clean city, people cleaning at night, and then by morning it was clean. And again in the night, other people clean. And somehow Kidero maintained that a little bit, but of late, Sakaja has left everything in a mess. So we can actually say that Nairobi City has become again dirty, and there are so many places where there are dump sites and all that. There's a lot of dirt that is unexpected, you know. And the questions is being asked is the delay in paying some of the companies that collect garbage and all that. And he had to come out and say that he's being pushed to pay because some of those companies are owned by some of the people who are pushing it. I'm like, who is it? Sifuna had to correct it and say that he does not have any garbage collection. Now, thank you so much, Emoji. I appreciate.
I've explained what the challenge had been in the issue of solid waste management, and Senator Onyonka, has described it how he sees it. It's a lot of this interest, and I've said that the county needs to be able to have the full capacity to collect and process solid waste, and that is why we're investing in equipment. We are moving into that county agency.
El Chapati.
So we're making, and I'm very proud that yes, we collected 12.8 billion. Never done by county before. This year we're actually going to hit the 20 billion. We're doing regularization of buildings. We're going to do sectional properties. We're going to get to 20 billion shillings. You know what I mean? Too many things, That's also in the finance committee. Look at the financial statements of the county, And so, that's a direction. And that's a direction of going.
So the governor was not able to actually explain or account of how they used 20 billion. He was hesitating, promising to explain, but there was no clear explanation here. Now, away from that, there is an accusation of 400 million bribe. Oh, my goodness. This country. How do super chats? Super chatting. You meaning doing a super chat? Let me check on that because I'm not so sure about it. How to super chat? Oh, so super chatting, one is supposed to go to YouTube Studio mobile app, then add the bottom of the screen, tap super's card. Okay, Yeah, I think super chat comes to when you go to YouTube Studio mobile app, then at the bottom of the screen you tap on, then you tap the super's card. Once, if it's the first time, it will force you to go to on-screen instructions and sign the commerce product mobile. All right, I think that's the little information I have, but that is what it is. Okay, so out of Sakaja's allegations, Sakaja has been indicated to have gone to see Raila Odinga actually, so that he cannot be impeached, because 70 MCS have signed for his exit. The other day I was talking about this and somebody was here saying that Sakaja has done a lot in Nairobi, and I was like, what exactly has he done? Because people are complaining. Okay, so already 70 MCS have signed his impeachment. Now, of course, the last time Raila helped him, but there is an allegation that 400 million Kenyan shillings have been used, possibly. I'll be right back. Thank you, emoji queen. I appreciate. I'll be sharing the number. I think the super chat goes through a number, and my number, I don't know where to share it, but I did in one of the videos. I don't know how to do it so that I share it here. YouTube does not give us room to place a number, but if I do a video, maybe when you want to do it, I'll be sharing with you. All right, thank you. So, I'm talking about this part of the allegation that there is a 400 million shillings that is going to be used to actually pay the MCS, the 84 MCS who have signed for impeachment. And I'm like, is it true? If that is true, then Kenya, we are so much far from development, because how do we actually complain about something, then when it's yet to be solved, we go again against it? Okay, let's just check this video here.
This is a full-scale political revolt against Sakaja and indirectly against Raila's.
Let's watch here.
I don't think that is fair to Nairobians. Clearly, we bring back the blame where it's supposed to be.
Thank you, emoji queen. But could you please write down the number, because you need the number if you're using the method we use. I don't know whether it's through M-Pesa or something like that. You could write down the number, then you can use it whenever you do the necessary. Because my number is, I think you know the code of Kenya, 254 plus 254, then 729 464 528 plus 254 729 464 528. I hope you recorded it, and you can use that number for super chats. Thank you for your support. David Jigna, welcome on the platform. Welcome on the platform, and let's go on with this reaction. So guys, there is an accusation on Raila. Raila is trying to sabotage Nairobi. Abdi Kadrim Sheikh, welcome on our platform, and let's go for this analysis. All right, so inside this we are on Sakaja, and Sakaja, already 70 MCS have signed for his exit. That is through impeachment. I don't know whether it will go as the Kericho one. I don't know whether the Nairobi people wish him to go or still want him around, or whether he will again be laughing like the Kericho governor. So let's see this.
Majority leader and chief whip all sat down to strategize on.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of people against Sakaja. Of course, the majority leader plus the MCS and all that decided to go strategize on how to pull out Sakaja from his seat. All right. And we saw the other day the accusation that were being, rained against him. Now, there are talks in town. And this is what is being said, that there is money being raised to save Sakaja. Is this true?
Is taken care of, is rectified, and is clearly, we bring back the blame where it's supposed to be, which is with the governor of Nairobi, Arthur Johnson Sakaja. I think even if you go to the hospitals, you find a lot of functions are in a mess. If you go to the public health sector, where he's privatizing the functions of the county, he's privatizing the acts like vaccinations. Things which are supposed to be performed by the Nairobi County. If you go there, the people asking food.
Hi, Abdi Karim Sheikh. Welcome. Thank you so much. For those of you who have given a like, I appreciate your likes.
That is fair to Nairobians. If you go in Nairobi, we don't say that the organs are not supposed to exist, but the organs are supposed to exist. But also the building owners who are collecting rent are supposed to get value for the money which they provide services to their tenants. So it's not fair to Nairobians that Arthur Johnson Sakaja continue being the governor of Nairobi. In a rare and bold moment, Mapatini MCA Wilfred Oluoy.
Oh, so guys, that is what is going on in Nairobi. However, many people think that Raila Odinga is working day and night to ensure that he maintains Sakaja in position, because he has ever defended him before. It's not for the first time. So the accusation of the several millions, and I get surprised because when I see this kind of money being flushed out, then I wonder, why are we suffering as citizens? Because we are not able to actually conduct our project, we are not able to get the salary that we deserve, we are not able to have a better life. Yet, you hear about a lot of money being dashed around in form of bribes to these leaders. And you're like, if only this money would be distributed well to Kenyans, we would be so far. All right. So meanwhile, there is also a lot of talk on the Jubaland forces. The Jubaland forces are causing a lot of, Dawid Jigna is like embezzlement, a lot of embezzlement, a lot. Embezzlement from the institutional level, schools, hospitals, everybody in Kenya, like those who are in a position, most of them, I don't say all of them, but most of them have decided to go for embezzlement process. Because you look at institutions, even schools, you will find that they are arguing that they don't have material for students, they don't have good classes, but the leaders will always embezzle some money somewhere, then cheat on a project and eat a lot of it. I use it, but it's to actually embezzle. You go to institutions, even hospitals, medicine will not be there, but somehow there's money being consumed somewhere. You come to the, like how can Sakaja say that they have 20 billion shillings every year, and then at the end of the day, he cannot account for how that money has been used. It's very satirical, a very dismal state of affairs in our country. But then, what do we do? Should we keep complaining? No, we need to oust these people out of leadership. And I really wish that the impeachment processes are not just a joke. Because beforehand, we used to see impeachment that work so that we have better leaders. And again, when citizens decide to vote in a new leader, they should again be wise. Look at what the leader has done instead of looking at their faces, because I think Sakaja was voted out of having dimples, something like that. People just picked him because of looks. I don't know, for whatever reason, instead of looking at what he could have done. It is a very dismal state of affairs in our country. Actually, when you look at embezzlement from the hospitals, from the house building, from, I don't know, to the roads and all those projects, that people are looting and looting day and night. All right. So let's get to another aspect that I watched today and I was not happy about it. I was not very happy about this state of affairs, guys. So let me just get to it. You know, I think over Sunday we heard about the land grabbing business in Rongai. And it was about the son of Ruto. I don't know how true this is, guys. Every blessed day we have new things, you know. David Jigna, you are saying it's worse in Nigeria. Why did you delete the message? Oh, so it is the state of affairs in Africa in general. Okay. But I don't know what we'll do. What is our medicine, David? David Jigna, what will we do in Africa? How will we change the way our leaders behave, the way our leaders handle, you know? Thank you, Emoji Queen. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, so I do not know how we will change the state of affairs in Africa, because the real reason why institutions are falling, like you can look at Kenya, University of Eldoret used to be a very prestigious university, now it's gone. It cannot actually reclaim its position, you know. Look at hospitals, very prominent hospitals like St. Mary's. St. Mary's Mias was a very good hospital, serving the needs of the people. It's gone. We had some supermarkets in Kenya when I was growing up, like Nakumat. I wonder how it came to fall. I could never imagine. And now imagining that Kenya Pipeline is being privatized or rather sold, imagining that companies like Pepper, Webuye Pepper has been sold, imagining that companies like Nzoia have been sold, and so many others. It's a very poor state of situation in our country, all right? Very poor state of aspects in our country. And this is why our citizens are suffering. You work so hard, but you find that your life is stuck. You can't move. You can't move a step, you know. And I just wish that people should be informed in the right way about what is happening. And when they choose leaders, they don't choose based on what they are giving them. Like leaders who come with sugar, a kilogram of sugar, bribe people, and then out of that, people pick them for leadership. That is the worst ever decision most of the voters do. Like they vote because they were just given some kilogram of sugar, they were given a lesso, or they were told to queue in the morning and they were given 20 Kenyan shillings, which is hardly $1. It's maybe $1.3. And then now people will be actually shouting out someone and going to cast a vote for them. And then we suffer for 5 years and the recycle continues. We were learning in sociology the cycle of poverty and how it happens. You know, that cycle of poverty is a very poor state of affairs, and it's controlled through politics. You know, controlled through politics. So David Jigna says, simple, no one above 60 years old need to be in power. Then create a fresh check and balance on a sovereign auditing organization. Bold, fearless, principled media. Indeed, this is one of the best suggestions I've ever heard of. I'm going to actually be talking about this anytime I'm doing an analysis, that we actually need fresh blood. These people who have been there for years and years, they just recycle mediocrity. All they do is they recycle mediocrity. And then if we have fresh checks and balance with a sovereign auditing organization, of course that will will control extortion, I think, the current extortion. But David Jigna is asking me to ask why. I would also want to know whether my thinking is in line with his thought or if it's different. David Jigna, you can share why you think this is the best way. Having leaders who are below 60 years and also having fresh checks and balance with a sovereign auditing organization, then having a bold, fearless, principled media. Of course, media houses sometimes are misused. People are bought and then they give information that is not rightful, or they go supporting affairs that are not worth for a country, or they cover up and sometimes they just leak information that may not be right, or they give information that is not helping the country. Sometimes they shy away from information they should give. Like currently, we should be having voter education running on and on up to the time we will be having election, but that is not happening. And even before elections will be conducted, you will realize that many people don't know what to do. They don't know who is the best leader, who is the worst leader. They just pick leaders based on the fact that they are vying, you know. Before even I proceed, there was something I saw about Matiang'i. Ababu na Mwamba actually endorsing someone called Matiang'i. I don't know, for those of you who are watching me from like Emoji Queen from Lower, David Jigna from Nigeria, and there were other people from elsewhere. And I don't know where Abdi Karim Sheikh, whether you are still there. There was someone from India, you know. Somebody from India. Who was it? Somebody told me from India. All right. So all those who are watching, you know, the funny stuff with Kenya is that sometimes people do not understand even why they have to vote for whoever they have to. So I saw in another video a former leader. Of course, most of you know him, and he has been close to the government, Ababu Namwamba from Busia, Kenya, the borders of Uganda. He was he had a funeral of the mother, and it was a shaming that even though he has been a close friend to the president, the president never sent anybody or went there. I don't know what is about to go down. And so it had to force Ababu Namwamba to appreciate those who went there. I hope it was a genuine, appreciation, because he indicated that those who stand with you matter, you know. And he was saying that indeed he's endorsing the presence of Matiang'i as a presidential candidate in 2027. All right. Jawit Jigna, I'm waiting for your response. Tell me why you think we should vote for people who are below 60 years, and also create a fresh check and balance with a sovereign auditing organization, and also have bold, fearless, principled media. That is your suggestion. So I'm waiting for that response. And Emoji Queen, you can also contribute towards it if you think maybe you understand what Dawid is suggesting as a solution to Africa to make it better and accountable, a better country where people will grow. Because actually, in Kenya, you're stagnated. You finish high school, you go to college, you finish, and you go to work, but the salary you receive is so minor, so small. Promotions are stagnated also, because you realize that even in promotions, they are looking at who is who. If you don't know a network, you may not get promoted at work, and therefore the salary is stagnated. And again, within that institution, there is bureaucracy and the aspect of favoritism based on who somebody likes. So they'll always go with whoever they prefer. All right. So these things are running not just in major institutions of the country at large, but even in other smaller institutions that we work. All right. Day after day, you can imagine. So you are suffocated economically, socially, politically. All right. Anyway, let's just check on this here. There is this video showing something here. I wanted to see something here. What's happening? I'm checking on the video for Ababu Namwamba, who has actually begun to sing a different song. And people now feel like he's endorsing Matiang when he was with the government, possibly because he feels Matiang is standing with him. You know, in Africa, sometimes people value those who stand with you at times of mourning. When you are mourning and you see somebody coming by, you value them because they came to actually help you at the times when you needed most. So that's why Ababu Namwamba actually came on to endorse Matiang. Let's check this video here.
you trained us, you helped to strengthen the institutional capacity of government. And when you became a cabinet secretary in the Jubilee administration, mimi nilikuwa kwenye upinzani, you were at ICT, where you did a remarkable job. I remember when you say if we do not migrate to the digital space, then all TVs will be switched off. You're the man who migrated. You've lived in the US like I have. Paul, you've been in the US many times. Catherine here, Catherine has she's lived in the US. Because kwa maingiazi, mzazi anaweza keti chini na mtoto yake kumwingia mtihani. But imagine when you expose that thing, ikawa kwamba kumbe ilikuwa ukweli. Tulikuwa tuna produce a fake society, a dysfunctional society. Baadaye umeenda katika ile, I think last time ulitoka serikali, ulikuwa
So during that funeral, they had to profile the kind of work Matiang'i did, remembering what he did in the interior, in education, all other places, all right? So of course, many people have felt like Babu Namwamba is switching codes from what he was actually standing for to what he now is thinking of. So what exactly happened, all right? So it is the same Babu Namwamba who has been standing with the government strongly, but now he's coming out to stand with Matiang'i. Remember, Matiang'i currently is a candidate who is in the opposition, seeking a position in presidential seat, all right? So if he has said what he has said, then what exactly is happening? Okay. Now, meanwhile, let's also check on Orengo. Now, Orengo, David says, these all 70 plus have no clue of the information age. Okay, so the fact that they lack knowledge, they have no clue of the information age. So do you mean that information age is a period whereby maybe we use that information to grow? And the fact that they can actually work on information to reveal and they will accept or embrace, because when you look at those who are old also, they don't want people to speak the truth. And they think that when you speak the truth, you are supposed to be dealt with perpendicularly. So I think that is what David Jigna is trying to communicate here. The fact that when we have given people, who stand for the truth, the old generation will not allow it. And in the end of it, they only go about lying to people and they don't perform. Of course, embezzlement goes on and they are comfortable with it because they are forming a foundation for the future generation. They care about their own families than the entire nation. And I think that's what my reasoning too tells me. Now, Orengo, the governor of Siaya, has been out of the limelight for a very long time. There is a time people are indicating he's poison. In fact, when you look at my reactions, some of them have focused towards him as Orengo, the governor of Siaya. So when he disappeared from the limelight, the people of Siaya came out to demand that they want to know about their governor and what is exactly happening. Now, it happened that somehow, Orengo did not speak, and he only came out recently. And possibly at that point, we can say that he was brooding on what ground to stand on. And it appears that he has finally decided to land on the ground that stands with the government. Because you've been seeing the president in Homa Bay a lot of times with Gladys Wanga. There is a time the president even fried fish right there in the backyard of Governor Wanga. The president went ahead to even serve the fish, and this was symbolic because fish among the people of Nyanza communicates a lot. And after that, people began saying that Gladys Wanga would be picked as the VP, because now the president was saying that they want a woman to be the counter, the runner, okay? Simple. No one above 60 years only old need to be in power, then create a fresh check and balance with a sovereign auditing organization. Bold, fearless principle media. Ask me why. These old 70 plus have no clue of the information age. You are saying that I read the last comment. Yeah, I've understood. I think so. Maybe from your when you listen to what I'm saying, am I trying to be clear about what you said? Because from my understanding is that sometimes when you look at the old generation, the information age aspect of how to check possibly to do the thorough auditing is not there. But I also think the aspect is that they don't value the current media where it's supposed to be open and transparent. The other thing is that they feel they have the monopoly of leadership. And you can check that, for example, earlier comment explains it. Is there an earlier one away from this? I think that's, I've understood you, unless otherwise. And that is why we are seeing like yesterday, if you know where the president was, Obura Odinga has been there as a leader for so many years. And what surprises me is Nyanza. Nyanza people have a funny way of acting. Even when there is no development in a specific place, they still pick somebody for leadership years and years because they make them a dynasty. And I was surprised that people of Siaya were saying that Orengo himself was saying that when Raila tells them to turn left, they turn left. When Raila tells them to turn right, they turn right. Let's just see this. You know, at some point, Governor Orengo said that the government is like a hyena that eats its own people. But then we are surprised he came up to say something different. Let's just check on this here.
Are you a low-skilled worker looking to immigrate to Canada? Look no further. This video will discuss the top 5.
Kenyatta kafa, mimi nitasema. Hata kama Ruto angekuwa hapa nitasema. Hata kama Moi alikuwepo tulikuwa nasema. Hiyo
What is happening?
mjue hatukukuwa na mtu mkali kuliko Kenyatta. Mimi nimefanya kazi na Kenyatta wakati nilikuwa university, nikaenda kwa bunge. Kenyatta kafa, mimi Orengo bado niko. Akaje Moi 23 years tukihangaika hapa Bungoma. Moi akafa, mimi Orengo bado niko. Kibaki akaja, Kibaki akafanya kazi, Kibaki akaenda, mimi nipo. Uhuru akaja, Orengo bado yuko pale pale. Sasa Ruto yuko, tutaona nani ataondoka, mimi nitakuwa pale pale.
Can you imagine? So Orengo came out as a governor saying that he has served in the government since the times of Kenyatta. Kenyatta, the father to Kenyatta. He was there during that time. He came also led during the time of Moi, and he came during the time of Kibaki. He also ruled during the time of, again, he ruled during the time of after Kibaki, then Kenyatta again, the senior, and he has been there during the time of Ruto, and he's saying even the next government will be there. Can you imagine? That is recycling of mediocrity. Because what exactly has he done for Siaya that is so outstanding all these years? Because when he says that he has ruled all those years, what he's trying to tell us, there is dynasty and monopoly, which is one of the worst thoughts, or rather decisions for a county, or rather leadership to be. It's just like passing over mediocrity from one generation to another. Having a leader who will be there for years, 40 years ruling until death. It's one of the worst things. At least changing leaders creates a room. I'm just imagining the situation of, for example, Taita Taveta, where leaders have been changing. There was someone from like the Senate. There was somebody different. Governor, there was Samboja. Before Samboja, there was someone else. And then currently we have Mwadime. In the Senate, we had who? Before we had Mwaruma. And that kind of leadership allows people to know that they don't own leadership and they can bring change. But when you maintain leaders and recycle them for years after years, it becomes, yeah, even that Odinga dynasty is too much. Because Obura Odinga and Raila Odinga, Raila has been in the country for so many years. And personally, I don't see the current impact he has, if not on himself and his family. He doesn't have any impact, like bringing any change or positivity. I don't think so. Because even when he stood the other day saying that the senators should not be oversighting governors, what did he mean? When he said that it's supposed to be just people working in peace when they're stealing left, right, that does not stand out, all right?
But before you do that, the final, as far as
last night and this morning,
I don't know what has happened to the video. It's not showing the pictures. What has happened?
and he asked me,
Let's just check again.
the subscribers are wicked. Yeah. They make us in peace.
Eh.
Living our life in peace.
The video has decided not to show the pictures on my computer. What is happening?
Is ChatGPT. Let's be real. Most people over 40 use.
he also asked me to bring his great Odinga around me, and he asked me to make sure that the people in Siaya receive you well. And I'm glad that those instructions have been carried out. When Baba says right, we go right. When Baba says left, we go. Yadimu yenika Baba wacho right, or the right. He also asked me to bring his greetings to the people of Siaya.
Yeah, so looking at that speech from Orengo over the weekend, it was just funny that Orengo has surrendered to Ruto. Raila is his final word. I'm like, okay, is this the way to go? So even if they jump and fall in a ditch, everybody jumps and falls in a ditch. Quite sad, okay? David Jegina says, I know Kenya has brilliant and dynamic educated people that can govern. Of course there are. The only problem is that, people like Morara, Kebaso, and Makore were coming up. Then I don't know what happened. Morara was indicating that he was actually pushed by the citizens to step down because they started to call him a project. And I'm like, is that enough reason why he stepped down? Makore, on the other hand, actually decided to begin bootlicking Raila Odinga, and now he has been under his wings. But then I'm just looking at the people who are coming up like Maraga. Maraga is just a very old person to think of presidential seat. When you look at Kalonzo Musyoka has also been a mediocre because for so many years he's been in leadership, vying and also taking opportunity. At some point he was called watermelon. I'm not so sure why he would think he would do anything better for Kenyans because I've been in Kitui and those sides of Mwingi, and I don't think he's done much for anybody. You look at, let's say even I don't understand why Uhuru still wants to come back to politics and influence in any way. You talk about Waititu and those kind of people, they have been a mess to Kenya. Because Waititu, for example, the saga that we found him in, did he say he had, I don't know, the expenditure he had done on items in Kiambu was just exaggerated embezzlement of the highest order. So there are so many leaders. If only Kenyans will have to look through them, reflect and understand who they are. They cannot even come up and stand and begin vying for position. They shouldn't even have that opportunity, And I'm hoping that these people like Babu Owino, let's talk about Wamchomba, and Sifuna. I hope that Sifuna is clean, because from the today's meeting, that meeting that I just started within my discussion, I'm wondering, is he clean or is he part of the mess, Let's listen partly to something that just came in some minutes ago from Citizen before we just proceed. There's something here. And then I think there's a wrong mentality among leaders that when you get to leadership, you must grab and grab and grab. Because I'm looking at what Ruto is doing actually. All he has to do is to grab pieces of land from left to right, center, owning as much as you can. I'm like, what the hell is this? Now, with this Juba forces again at the Juba forces that have invaded Mandera, and the government is trying to be cool about it. The governor was quiet until Gachagua spoke. I do not understand what mission they have in Kenya. I've not understood. I wish I would hear somebody from Jubaland speaking on this platform or somewhere. I do not understand, because I've just seen something, and the fact that silence, there is a dirty deal. I'm like, what deal is this? Let me just check on the video that I saw somewhere. Let me check on this Jubaland aspect. Hey, people are funny here. What is happening to the net? Like, the computer can't show the pictures. What is happening?
Mimi nataka nikuambie kitu moja. Unajua watu wameungana William Samuel Ruto, wote ni masangwenya. Ukiona Raila Amolo Odinga ni mtu amesimama mara 5 na hajaipita akakuwa president. Sasa nikuulize, unataka kuuliza mtu ukishikana na mtu mwenye hawezi pitisha mtu, anaweza pitisha William Samuel Ruto? Nyinyi mkiona anaweza mpitisha kweli? Mimi nataka nikuambie hapo for free. 2027 saa 11 William Samuel Ruto na Raila Amolo Odinga, ile alikuwa anataka kusafirisha na Raila Amolo Odinga kumpeleka Bondo. Tutamweka tumsafirisha aende Kenya na Rejo Kosigoi. Na Raila aende Kenya mama aende nyumbani. Ama namna gani? Wananyumu sana kuzoea. Atumu sana tuambie tufanye maandamano. Tukishafanya maandamano, yanaenda kublock. Wewe umekaa hapo umekaa saa hii. Raila amekupatia kazi. Sana sikia mzuri na Ida.
All right, so those are some of the arguments from people. All right. I'm just checking at that. I don't know where it went. Anyway, if we miss it out, just know that there is something hidden in the Jubaland forces, because there is some leaking information about it. I'm just checking this. Yeah, because I don't understand how this can happen, that a whole duration of 1 week, these forces had invaded, and no one was talking about it until Gachagua actually came to call upon, a TV station to go to his home. And from there, that's when we began to hear them talk about it. But before then, nobody was talking about it. And I'm like, what the hell was that? Why? I'm just trying to check, but I can't find it. Let me check this.
Kusalimia hao washirika na tena kupata nafasi kuja katika service hii ya ordination. And Reverend Boro.
Emoji Queen is telling me to watch the man in suit. That is a video? Emoji Queen, is that a video? Okay.
On behalf of my family and these leaders, tunataka tuseme pongezi on your ordination. Tunakutakia mema na utafanya kazi ya Mungu, and may God guide you as you serve his people. And tumeshukuru sana na vile watu wamekuja. This is a very important occasion and all of us are happy to be part of it. Mimi ni member wa kanisa hii ya PCA huko Kirimara West Presbytery. Tupoteze pesa yetu.
Work today is broken. We're all working
Let
in
me
too many
restart the
disconnected
computer.
apps,
It seems
and
there
it's
is a
killing team
problem.
productivity. But for the first
Let me
time,
restart the
there's a
computer
platform that
because
fixes
there
it
is
by
no way the
combining
computer
everything we
refuses
need.
to show the
Projects,
videos,
chat,
and it's in use. You know, I've not seen this for any time soon. Yeah, so Emoji Queen says watch the man in the suit. It must be a video. Okay, not seen any other comment yet, but I appreciate your presence and your support on the channel. And you're almost coming to an end. About 4 minutes will be done. There was just a video that I was looking for. But there's some effect, I don't know, whatever. Like the computer cannot show a picture, and sometimes you need to support these things with pictures and all that. So let me just check on this. All right, if it doesn't work, then we'll be ending very soon because we are left with about 3 minutes to come to an end so that I can go back to another channel, Edutainment for Us, and do something on it. Emoji Queen, I asked a question, is this a video or what is this? So the computer has restarted. Let me just see whether I can have everything coming back. 67 tabs, really? Only 67. Okay, so it's again a slow take. Let me just have I overused the computer or what?
But in reality, before they do any
Hey, the bundles had already caressed.
huyu Mulusio anasema mnaweka behind the scene. That's why
What is that? Maybe the windows, are you sure they are closed? So I hope they can show just as I end this live stream, but there's a lot in politics, guys. I normally talk about it until I just reach a part where I'm quiet, because the hulabalus in our politics are just too much, you know. People hitting heads here and there and not interested in making any better change for anybody, you know.
Tracking your organization's expenses can be difficult and time-consuming. From overdue vendor invoices to your...
Juzi nimeita TV nikasema askari wako pale ya nchi jirani. Sasa ndio nimeona gavana wa Mandera ameamuka analia.
Who should Kenyans believe when it comes to the chaos in
Wako pale ya nchi jirani. Sasa ndio nimeona gavana wa Mandera ameamuka analia.
Who should Kenyans believe when it comes to the chaos in Mandera County? The government in Nairobi or former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua?
The Jubaland forces have been pushed out of Bulhawa, that is the Somalia, and they're operating from the Mandera side, a place called BP1. Last night, unfortunately, we lost a mother.
You see, in the past 48 hours, Gachagua and Governor Ad Khalif have sounded the alarm over Mandera's fragile security, warning that Somali militias have effectively taken control of Mandera County. And just hours ago, Gachagua doubled down, demanding the Kenya Defense Forces flush out the Jubaland forces before the region slips completely out of Nairobi's hands. He claims their stay has already left at least 5 people dead. Yet, according to him, the government in Nairobi isn't even shaken.
Juzi nimeita TV nikasema askari wako pale ya nchi jirani. Sasa ndio nimeona gavana wa Mandera ameamuka analia. Ati asaidie.
Return to Somalia. As the refugee...
Yeah, so guys, I think you've seen about the Jubaland aspect, and I hope that people will be safe, because if 5 people have already died in Mandera out of the presence of those forces there, and of course they are continuing with their training. Let me switch this first. They are continuing with their training over there. So what does this mean? Does it mean that we are overwhelmed, or what does it exactly communicate, you know? So let me just check this so that I'll be able to share something over here. I want to share with somebody who needed what I'm supposed to share before the live is over. Yeah, I need to share something with one person here, Emoji Queen, just in case if you use one person here. Yeah, so let me type here something. Yeah, so I'm giving here something to... All right, so I appreciate all of you. Oh, the last moments have been so troublesome with the network and the videos not playing as I expected. But I think I've been able to actually run through the 3 major things that we're focused on and have a very lively discussion. I appreciate David Jigna for the live participation. Emoji Queen was very live here. We also had Nanthu Paswan. Thank you so much for your active participation. Savaran Kumar, appreciation to you for coming to my platform. Also appreciate Akash Bro. Who else? We had who else? And all of you. I'm really appreciative to your presence on the channel, because it's not easy, you know. It's not easy for anybody to go to some other person's channel and watch what they are doing. So I really thank you tonight for being here. And I can also encourage you to watch my other channels, because I have 4 channels, but currently I'm so active on 2. Once they grow, then I'll be able to push the other 2. So thank you so much and have a nice day. Bye bye. Good night.